I should have seen this coming. No, scratch that. I did see it coming the moment I opened the invitation to my brother Nathan's wedding. The weight settled on my chest like an old familiar burden. This wasn't an invitation. It was a summons. A meticulously crafted performance where everyone had their role. Nathan, the golden child. Me, the family disgrace. And yet, I came. Not out of hope, not out of longing for acceptance, not even out of some misplaced sense of duty. I came because I had a plan. But before we get to that, let me tell you how I got here. The Belmont Ballroom is as grand as you'd expect. Opulent and excessive, just like my family's taste. A crystal chandelier drips from the ceiling, casting a glow over tables lined with golden plates and white flowers. The air hums with wealth and pretense, everything perfectly curated for this showcase event. Ryan, the sound of my mother's voice slices through the air like a blade. Rebecca Carter stands near the entrance, regal and cold in a gold-sequined gown, her hair styled to surgical perfection. Her eyes rake over me, her lips pressing into a thin line. "You could have dressed up more," she says, disappointment woven into every syllable. I glance down at my navy blue suit. Modest, neat, nothing flashy. Didn't realize there was a dress code, I reply evenly. She hums in disapproval. "Well, at least you showed up. Try not to make a scene." And with that, she disappears into the crowd. Try not to make a scene. The irony isn't lost on me. I weave through a sea of socialites, investors, and family friends, exchanging hollow nods and forced smiles. I know my role here. The black sheep, the cautionary tale, the living reminder of what happens when you stray from the Carter family's perfect script. At table 14, far from the main family table, I sit among distant relatives and acquaintances. Strategic placement, of course. Keep me out of sight, keep me out of mind. The lights dim. The music fades. A spotlight blooms on the giant screen at the front of the ballroom. Nathan takes the stage, microphone in hand, his smile practiced and gleaming. "Thank you all for being here," he begins, smoothly. "It means the world to have our closest friends and family celebrate this special day with us. And, as a treat, I've put together a little presentation. Some memories, some laughs, some love." The crowd applauds, eager and adoring. I take a slow sip of champagne. I know exactly where this is going. The slideshow begins. Photos of Nathan and his bride-to-be. Their travels, their achievements. Nathan at Harvard. Nathan's first real estate deal. Nathan shaking hands with business moguls. Nathan, Nathan, Nathan. Then the slideshow changes. A picture of me flashes onto the screen. The caption beneath it is brutal and unmistakable. Infertile, divorced, failure, high school dropout, low income, single. The room falls silent for a beat. Then the laughter rolls in, a wave of cruel amusement. My brother grins, soaking it up. "Come on, don't laugh too hard," Nathan teases. He might cry. My mother sips her wine. My father chuckles. My ex-wife, Olivia, smirks. But I don't. React. Because this is exactly what I was counting on. I grip my phone, my fingers steady. "Not yet, Ryan. Not yet." Nathan keeps talking, but I'm not listening. My pulse thrums, my blood electric. When the slideshow finally flickers to black, I move. One button. That's all it takes. The screen glitches, then changes. Bold white letters fill the space. "Breaking free. Life and the reality of emotional abuse. By family." The laughter dies instantly. Confusion ripples through the crowd, and then a notification pops up in the corner of the screen. Live viewers, 200, 400, 600, 60,000. The numbers skyrocket. Another message flashes, bold and unmistakable. The evidence is gathered. The legal team is standing by. You are not alone anymore. For the first time, Nathan's smile falters. My mother's wine glass lowers. My father stiffens. The room tilts. The power shifts. And this time, from my chair, I press one final button. The final blow. Charles Carter has been under investigation for financial fraud for the past 6 months. The room erupts into chaos. I can barely hear over the collective gasps, the murmurs, the panic. On the screen, emails, transactions, and leaked documents flood in, evidence of my father's illegal dealings. My father's face turns a sickening shade of pale. The last time I saw him look this terrified, I was 10 years old, clutching a school report card with a single B+ on it. He had called me useless, a disgrace, a stain on the Carter name. Now he's the disgrace. Now he's the failure. And me, I'm just getting started. The aftermath begins. The wedding is officially ruined. Nathan's fiancée has walked out, my mother is humiliated beyond repair, my father is facing legal and financial collapse. And me? I'm walking out of this ballroom with my head held high. I glance down at my phone one last time. 2.5 million viewers. That's 2.5 million people who finally know the truth. I exhale slowly, feeling something I never thought I'd feel. Relief. For the first time in my life, I am not the failure. For the first time in my life, I am free. As I turn to leave, my father shouts after me, one last attempt to control me. "Ryan, if you walk out that door, you're dead to this family." I pause. Then, without turning around, I say the words I should have said years ago. I was dead to you a long time ago. And with that, I step into the night, never looking back. I walk away from the wreckage of my brother's wedding reception. But I'm not done. Not yet. Destroying the illusion of my family's perfection was only step 1. Now it's time for something else. Justice. For years they mocked me, humiliated me, discarded me like I was nothing more than an afterthought. Tonight, I made sure they never forget my name. The calm before the storm. The ballroom is in chaos. Nathan is standing alone, his tuxedo wrinkled, his ex-fiancée's engagement ring still lying on the floor where she threw it. My father, Charles, is red-faced and seething, barely keeping himself together as his business associates begin to step away from him. My mother, Rebecca, has her hand over her mouth, eyes darting around the room looking for an escape. I could walk away now. I could let the damage settle, let them spend the next weeks trying to piece their shattered reputations back together. But that wouldn't be enough, because there's one last lie that still needs to be unraveled, and I know exactly how to do it too. I turn around, stepping back into the ballroom. The murmurs die instantly as I reappear. Nathan sees me first. His face twists with hatred. But there's something else in his eyes now. Fear. Good. I walk back toward my seat, pick up my champagne glass, and take a slow sip before I speak. Now that we've taken a little intermission, I say, my voice steady, let's get to the main event. Nobody moves. I press a button on my phone, and the next recording begins. Olivia's dirty secret. I never loved Ryan. He was just convenient. The room goes completely silent. I don't even need to look to know that Olivia, my ex-wife, has just gone pale. The recording continues. I mean, come on, he's infertile. He's weak. I needed a man who could actually give me a future. Someone like Nathan. Gasps ripple through the guests. I turn to my brother and smile. "You know," I say, swirling the champagne in my glass, "I always wondered why Olivia seemed so comfortable at our family gatherings." Nathan stiffens, his eyes darting to Olivia. My mother inhales sharply. My father's expression hardens. But he doesn't say a word, because he knows. The betrayal wasn't just my wife, it was all of them. The next message pops up on the screen. A text conversation between Olivia and Nathan. Olivia: I hate sneaking around, baby. I wish we didn't have to hide it. Nathan: just hold on a little longer. Ryan will break soon. He's too weak to fight back. Olivia: I don't even care if he finds out. He's pathetic. He'll just blame himself like always. Nathan: I know. That's why it's so easy. I let the words sink in. Let the reality settle over the room like a heavy fog. My mother shakily lowers her wine glass. My father finally speaks. You slept with your brother's wife. His voice is low. Dangerous. Nathan opens his mouth, but no words come out. Olivia looks like she wants to vanish. I should feel pain. I should feel betrayed. But the truth is, I've known for a while. I just wanted to hear them admit it. I lean forward, resting my arms on the table. So, tell me, I say casually, was it worth it? And, for the first time ever, he has nothing to say. Every dirty deal my father thought he had buried is now exposed, and the whole world can see the walls closing in. My father sinks back into his chair, his face pale, his hands trembling. He finally understands. It's over. Nathan's breath comes in short, panicked gasps. He grabs my mother's arm. Mom, say something. Fix this. But Rebecca Carter is gone. Not physically, but in every way that matters. She's staring at the screen, at the undeniable truth about her perfect family. And she is silent, because she knows there's nothing left to say, nothing left to fix, nothing left to salvage. The business is dead. I stand up, sliding my hands into my pockets. You had everything, I say to Nathan. Power, wealth, privilege, and yet here you are, with nothing. Nathan shakes his head violently. This isn't happening. This isn't— It is, I interrupt, my voice steady, and no amount of lies can change that. He stumbles back, his entire body trembling, and then he bolts. Right out of the ballroom, right into the night, leaving behind nothing but his father's ruined empire. I glance at Charles one last time. He doesn't look at me. He doesn't say a word. Because he knows. He finally knows. He lost. And I won. The world watches it burn. I step out of the ballroom into the cool night air. It's fresh, liberating, like the first breath after being trapped underwater for far too long. Behind me, the empire that once ruled over me crumbles. Inside, my father sits frozen, his carefully built real estate dynasty shattered in front of the entire world. Nathan, my brother, the golden son, has fled into the night. No longer the untouchable heir, no longer the family's shining example. And my mother? She is silent, because for the first time in her life she has nothing left to say. But me, I stand tall, because after years of humiliation, lies, and exile from my own family, I have won. And the best part? This is only the beginning. The aftermath begins. My phone buzzes. A new notification, 6 million live viewers. That's 6 million people who just witnessed my family's fall from grace in real time. I let out a slow breath, watching the numbers tick up. I never planned for this to go so viral, but I should have known. People love a scandal, especially when it's about a powerful, untouchable family falling to pieces. And right now, the Carter name is front page news. Another buzz, this time a call. I glance at the screen. David Reed, a longtime friend and an attorney specializing in corporate fraud cases. Ryan, he greets, his voice smooth and calm. I assume you've seen the news? I have, I reply, walking toward my car. Good, because I have some updates. I smirk. Let me guess, the feds are interested in dear old Dad? David chuckles. Oh, they're more than interested. They're moving forward. The documents you provided were airtight. There's no way out. Of this, I lean against my car, watching the ballroom entrance from a distance. How long before the hammer drops? A week. Maybe less, David answers. But honestly, he won't even need an arrest to ruin him. His business partners are already cutting ties. Stocks for Carter Properties have dropped by 40% in the past hour. Investors are panicking. The company is dead. I exhale slowly. It's happening. Everything he built on lies and cruelty is falling apart, and for once, there's nothing he can do about it. The fallout spreads. I scroll through the news headlines. The Carter family scandal. Infidelity, fraud, and a fall from Grace Carter. Exposes his family in shocking live broadcast. SEC investigation into Carter Properties begins. What comes next? I smiled to myself. The Carter name used to be a symbol of success and power. Now it's synonymous with corruption, deception, and downfall. I glance back at the entrance. Reporters are gathering, their cameras flashing as guests flee the ballroom, like rats escaping a sinking ship. I can already imagine tomorrow's headlines. The wedding that destroyed a Dynasty Nathan's rock bottom. Just as I'm about to get into my car, I hear footsteps. Fast, frantic. I turn, and there he is. Nathan. His tuxedo is disheveled, his hair a mess, his entire body trembling with rage and desperation. You think this is funny? He spits, his voice raw. I raise an eyebrow. Funny? No. Satisfying? Absolutely. You ruined my life, he snarls. I lean against the car, crossing my arms. Nathan, your life was already a disaster. I just turned on the lights so everyone could see it. His breathing is ragged. His hands shake at his sides. You don't get it, he whispers. You don't know what you've done. Oh, I think I do, I say. For the first time, you get to see what it's like to be me, to be the one discarded, the one humiliated, the one they never actually cared about. He swallows hard, his Adam's apple bobbing. You should have let it go, he mutters. I push off the car, stepping toward him. Let it go? I repeat. You spent years tearing me down. You let Mom and Dad use me as your scapegoat while you stood there and enjoyed the praise. You let Olivia cheat on me, with you, and laughed behind my back. His jaw clenches. Did you really think I'd let that slide? I ask, my voice dropping. Did you really think I'd just take it forever? He shakes his head, looking at the ground. And for the first time, Nathan Carter looks truly broken. Not the cocky golden son, not the arrogant, untouchable heir, just a man with nothing left. I should feel bad, but I don't, because he did this to himself. Goodbye, Nathan, I say, stepping back, and then I get into my car, leaving him standing in the ruins of his own making. The new chapter begins. A year later, the Barnes & Noble in downtown Manhattan is packed. Hundreds of people stand in line, holding copies of my new book, The Truth We Bury. At the signing table, I greet each reader, signing their books, shaking their hands. Many of them share their own stories of surviving emotional abuse, of finding strength in my journey. And for the first time in my life, I know I have purpose. I am not the failure my family tried to make me believe I was. I am stronger than them. Better than them. As I sign the last book, I write the same words. I always do. Your voice has power. Don't be silent anymore. And this time, I finally believe it.